So when teachers are saying that students have terrible reading skills and just lack reading comprehension, this is what we're talking about, okay? This is a warm-up that one of my 9th grade students turned in. I asked him about a field trip that we took. I enjoyed the field trip. I like learning about, I don't know. And then at the end, he says, I did not like walking on pear. I guess that's him saying the pier. I would go back. This is a 15-year-old. This is a different 9th grade student. Same class. He said, I ransom for a PhD of the water. We're not exaggerating. It is bad out here. This is ridiculous, okay? Okay.
So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And so
shout out to this teacher. I think his name is Darius Cook. And you can see him passionate about teaching, which we need more of that. These teachers today were more passionate.
I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't.
I know a lot of people have their own opinion and them trying to say, well, teachers need more pay and stuff like that. But I think the starting of it is parents. You got to start off your child on a good, that's where it start from. You cannot bend a tree when it's old. So you got to start it from young. Parents, when you have your children, it's your job. It's not the teacher's job or the government. It's your job to start off your kids on a intellectual level. All right, I know this is modern time, you know, people on social media and stuff. But yeah, we got to take the time out, sit down with your kids, teach them the basic. Unless you not knowledgeable. So the parents who can read and write, you got to go to somebody else or tutoring or something. But parents who can read and write, it's your job to get the kids them start off, or your child start off on the right foot. You have to neglect your extra activities. I know, you know, people want to go party and hang out with friends and stuff like that. But you have to put those things aside and sit down with your kid, read a book at least twice a week with your kids. Let them read, reason with them in different topics, talk about different environment, pull out the map, look up, you know, where countries located. There's so many things, even on social media, like even my children, we go on YouTube and find quiz and we do it. So it's not all the time you have to pull out a book, but sit down with your kids and go through educational. There's so many things on social media. My kids, they born before social media. So I go old school. I sit down, read books with them, do maths with them. Back then you could buy CD, educational CD. I think it called the Frog Factory or something like that. But yeah, I mean you gotta. It's tough for the teacher when your kids cannot read and write, and when the teacher get them, they're gonna be frustrated. So the parents, you gotta start off your kids on the right foot.
I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read.
So it's the last day of school, and I'm sending out emails and calling parents to tell them that their child did not pass my class. And I get an email from a parent that's like, hey, actually, can you call me? I want to talk about my child's grade. And his mom is like, I'm confused. I don't understand how he's failed. And I said, well, his final grade is a 30. So all 4 quarters averaged up from January, it's a 30%. And she's like, I don't understand that. How could it possibly be a 30%? Like, well, to be honest with you, he doesn't do much of anything in class. He sleeps. He has to be told to put his phone away. He has to be asked to leave the classroom because he's not listening. And his mom is like, that's just ridiculous. I've never heard this before. Like, this is the first time I'm being told about any of this. And I said, well, that's not true because I've emailed you twice. And I've told you that his grade is below a 64. That's what he needs to pass. And I never got a response. And she's like, well, I work. Okay, I don't have time to check an email. I have other children. I don't check my email every day. That's not what people who have jobs. And she's telling me that I should have never emailed her. I should have been calling her because she's an adult. She needs someone to call her to tell her. Unless she responds back to your email, she didn't see it. So a call would have done better. And I said, okay, I did call you. I absolutely called you. I even pull up the contact log where I called you in January. I called you in February. I sent 2 emails in April. So this is not the first time you've heard this. And this is probably the 5th time, at the very least, that you're now hearing that he's in danger of failing. And so she starts going off. She's cussing at me. She's like, this is BS. This don't make no sense. I cannot believe this. There's no way that my child should be failing. I said, well, to be honest with you, he didn't even come take the final exam. She's like, when was his final exam? Which you should know that. And I said it was Tuesday. And I said he could have came on Wednesday, he could have came on Thursday, or even today, Friday, and took it. He did not. So he has a 0 for that. And she's like, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody told me nothing. He didn't tell me that. How was I supposed to know that he had a final exam? Because you're a parent. So I'm never confused when my students refuse to take accountability. Their parents do not take accountability. So why would they?
Why did